Well, hello. Welcome to my world. Come on in. This is the day that we're going to be talking about old school. It's Wednesday. It's what's happening. I know it's late, but sometimes I'm kind of afraid to talk too much earlier with you for fear that I might have visitors. It's just, I have to get used to the YouTube. And also, I'm very busy during the day. I don't get many phone calls because I keep my phone off. However, I now have a headset. So it's easier for me to hear when people, if I get phone calls, which I do get phone calls every day from my son. And there is nothing more exciting than that. Okay, I have to go now. I have a live stream. Okay, bye. Anyway, hello. Welcome to my world. My name is Colleen Frost, and it is Wednesdays, and it is What's Happening. We are going to be talking old school, and I brought out Mother's Sacred Hotline. This is what is happening on Wednesday. One day a week, we need to have a day, what's happening. And today, the day, we need to talk about the telephone. Today, I am so thankful. Oh dear, these have no readers. That I was raised on the tin can and the string. My twin brother and I were very creative when we were young. My mother had the coffee tins, and we put a string and the hammer and the nail and so forth, pulled them real tight. Sometimes we would even wrap them around the chair rung and go around the corner. And you all had this, I'm sure. Well, that was my first telephone. And let me tell you, it absolutely works. And when my son was young, we started out with the walkie-talkies. We got the wristwatches like, Doctor Who. Need we say more? Anyway, we just had so much fun communicating. And I was raised on the 7 days of balance. And every day of the week, we try to live on purpose with some type of an activity. It comes in handy when you're a parent and your son leaves and the cell phones are all the rage. I understand texting. I do text. However, I am old school with the phone. I prefer to go with just the calling someone, and thank God my son feels the same way. But then again, I plan this on purpose. This is what's happening on Wednesday. Welcome to my world. Come on in. I am a head coach. And I was raised in the 7 days of balance and living life on purpose. If you are traveling on this internet, I hope you rest here a while. Make these 7 days be your traveler's rest. As your head coach, I'm on a mission. Well, I've been in remission, celebrating history, creating more, and this is going to be something good, I promise. Today was my brother-in-law's birthday. He's been in our family for 45 years. Now, he's kind of a big deal with me because, you see, he's very much a part of Minnesota's technology. He has phone companies throughout our state, and it started out just being a local telephone company, 13 exchanges. And I don't know how many he has now, but let's just put it this way. For about 25 years of my sister and his married life, he spent 240 days a year in Washington, D.C., fighting for the independent telephone companies in the United States to stay independent. And I just remember when I first moved home from college, and he would call me up and he said, Colleen, there's a new thing called a cell phone, and I'm bringing it to Otter Tail County. Would you come and help me? And of course, I jumped right in. I loved anything to do with technology, even at that time. And so communication was always important to me, especially in our family and how I was raised, on learning on being a communicator and learning these tools. So off I went to sell cell phones. And back then, people, when they first came out, they were in a bag, and they were $900 for our area. So where do you start? Well, where I grew up here by Perm, Minnesota, I went out to Deer Creek, population very small. And they had farm tractors that had tires taller than most apartments. And so I went and talked to the wife at the home place, and I told her about this bag phone. And I said, no, I'm going to run out to that tractor and hand the other bag phone to your husband and give him the number and have him call you. And she just thought it was so interesting. And so off I go, parked my car on the busy highway and jumped the fence. And off I go with my 4-piece business suit into the field of corn. And the man pulled over, couldn't figure out what in the world I was doing in the middle of the cornfield. And I just knew that if I could convince this couple to buy this cell phone for $1,800, that I would have scored my first sale in our county. And sure enough, the phone rang. The wife ended up calling her husband, and he answered the phone, and he just could not get over that his wife was on the phone. And the bag had the antenna, and so it was just right there. And that was it. For $1,800, he says, I'll take 2. And then go talk to Jim across the street, across the road. He'll take 2 also. And it just went on like this and on and on. So that's how come I love the cell phone. And I don't recall those ever having texting. I just remember being able to hang on to that phone, and it was something else. So I do think that for safety and for I was just all into the cell phone back when they first came to Otter Tail County. Well, then I got another call from Alan. He knew at that time that I was well aware of the internet. And even though I wasn't the technology person behind the scenes, I understood what it brought to our area and the marketing. And he knew I was dialing up to Fargo and that I had access to all world libraries on this internet. And that I had access to email and email addresses to write letters to people all over the world. When I had the internet, I thought I had died and went to heaven. And I could even email Santa Claus. Look it up. It was real. Anyway, and he says, I want to bring the internet. We have 11 subscribers. We're going to just try it out here and see if it is something. Would you come and help us? And I jumped right on it. So I did, and I'll make another video about that story, but it was something else. So communication, internet, technology, I am very passionate about it. Soon I had a little boy, 21 years ago. And when he was in 3rd grade, this man with that Apple thing came out with a cell phone. And at that time we were working with our school board to have them save our teachers and our paras. It was every other day they had some kind of a meeting to raise money for our school. And I was so active in it because you cannot rewind childhood. So I was very, very active. And when you have people in a town that are not for the progressiveness of technology, they can't see it, it's not their fault. They just aren't ready yet. And they don't understand when there's a glitch and so forth. And it's just a learning curve, isn't it? So it was very challenging when we had access at the school at that time for hundreds of thousands of dollars for money to come into our area for this technology. And it was just kicked back. So I went ahead and got my son a cell phone, and we walked from hall to hall, teacher to teacher, to show them they canceled our Spanish for the school, but look, there's a Spanish app. So if we can get a Spanish app, let's learn Spanish anyway. No. So in flashcards and so forth, and they even cut our science teacher in 3rd grade, and that was just devastating to us. So I just see everything positive with technology, especially if us adults get engaged, but we have to keep up with it. And I'm doing the best that I can as I look forward to grandkids who will jump home and tell me what's new with this technology. As a divorced mother at that time, it was a top priority for my son to jump in this technology as soon as he could. And I felt that 3rd grade was appropriate because we were doing the tin can and string up to that point. Well, very soon, he did get his first computer in 4th grade, and he was typing, 100 words a minute by the time the year was up. Excellent typer. And then we had Skype. So he would be at his sun porch and I would be in the kitchen and we would dial up. I never wanted him to get into this texting. So as I was Skyping him, he was Skyping me, and we would have our visiting. So this is how I was able to keep the visiting alive, because I grew up with a mother and a dad that every day, first thing in the morning, many times throughout the day, it was the three-wing circus. And there was just, I'll tell you what the sentence was in a minute. But my mother and I, we loved the phone. She was at the command central. She was at the helm, and at the last years of her life, it was her job to be at the ready. However, there was never a rush of random calls. The calls that came were her kids, many times throughout the day. And then Dad took over when Mother had to manage the home. When Dad came home, it would be night or day or any of the hours. And when Mother was busy, Dad took over the phone. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. So he knew who it was. It was either going to be Chris, Carmen, or Colleen, or one of the grandkids. So when they answered, it was just simply, hello, it's me, or hello. And we always knew the next sentence. Hello, it's me. What's happening? And by gosh, we better have an answer. And it was, what's happening? So you don't usually call until you have something on the table, what's happening. That's why Wednesdays are just so important. So today was a really fun day for me, because when my son calls every day, I know there's going to be something happening. It could be the smallest of things. It could be a new thought. It could be something really progressive. It could be something in the past. It could be something in the future. But I know when he's calling, it's going to be about something about what's happening. And that's why I just reflect, even on the Xbox. I don't know, we're out of the closet gamers now. But of course, I had my own Xbox, and I had at that time my own headset just for the Xbox. So when he was on, I was on. And I had my own gamer tag. I didn't play a lot, but I was able to work in the kitchen and just kind of lurk, because he was young. And these were, he was probably playing games that were not age appropriate. I'm in counseling over it. But anyway, the kids were from all over the world, and they were fascinating. And I helped them think of different ideas for snacks. I was a very important role in the gaming culture. And, we did exercises, yoga. I mean, I can't bend, but by gosh, I sure attempted to. And then we got up and danced. And when there's a fight breaking out on that Xbox, they just had to learn how to fight. Because show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. And I wanted to make sure that they were willing to keep playing to have a chance at winning. And when they're young like that playing, it's really important to show them how to keep playing. And eventually they just got so darn good at it that I felt confident that we set good boundaries, and off to run we were. Eventually we got our own servers. Adam was building his own computers, and it just was great. But at no given time were we ever texters and gift people. But now I'm slowly starting to send him some gifts, and it's working out. But he better not ever stop calling, because there's nothing that will just bring me back. I'll see the phone ring, old school, and I see his name come up, and I always sometimes change a picture just to, But the first thing I think about is all those things I just shared. And then I think about when he gets older, when he calls me, I think about my mother and I. And so I don't know how you engage, but let me ask you that. Are you texters? So just, when you think about it, are you old school or do you text? Let's engage here. Tell me how you do it. It would be fun. Maybe I can get better and do something different, but I sure like the old school. And on behalf of my family, I want to thank you for sharing your history, and some of you that are messaging me. I just treat it like an email. I do my text kind of like an email, but I'll get better. I will learn it. And my son has a phone that he can go like that and it just types. So he says, Mom, I don't do it often, but when I do it, so I don't get it. It takes me forever to type on the text. Now I can type a letter faster than I can text. So thanks for listening, but I love talking about the telephone, and I like it that I have my headset in now and I'm starting to receive calls. So that's what's happening here, and on behalf of my family, thank you for sharing your history. This is my 7 days journal for me to keep track, because I used to write letters like this. What's your 7 days like? How do you live your life on purpose? And how did you find your purpose? I'd like to engage. So find your rocks, grab a ball, and build a team. Look for a feather. Hope is all around. So jump, bounce, and fly with me 7 days on purpose. I teach it, preach it, and repeat it with the balance. Like, share, and remember that Wednesdays are for those who dare. Be avant-garde, be rare, and remember me. Sincerely, Coach Colleen, number 33. Oh.